the Bolivar wool cutter special request video for my mother. And it's really interesting gear design here, and it turrets in 3 different positions. This is the base here. A lot of attention to detail on this in terms of the knurl on the hand wheel and this little foot here that's been swaged over the end of this piece of, looks like 5/16 threaded rod, roll pin holding the knurled handle on there, the knob, and nice use of button head screws, and even the rivets on the foot here. This is the material guide for putting material into the cutters. It's got this little hex drive here, which engage in the back of these socket head cap screws when you rotate the turret around. In the center here is a socket head shoulder bolt that goes in the front there. Now these here, some of them, I can't remember if it's the outside that's a right hand thread and this is left hand thread or vice versa. So they're left and right hand threads, brass nuts, and there's an O-ring in these grooves here. So when these cuts in between where there's interference there, and then the O-rings pop this piece of plastic tubing to displace the material to get it back out of the groove when it's exiting. And nice cross-drilled holes that are handy here. That helps with getting the nuts off by putting something in that cross-drilled hole. And yeah, I don't know what else to say as far as the other interesting thing, all the attention to detail, yet when you're running the cutter, it's got this exposed gear. So that was a curious part of the design. And that the handle here, this is threaded on. So one time where I was trying to take some of these nuts apart and using the handle to stop the rotation, the handle would come loose. So interesting design choices in different places where nothing wrong with it. It's just different than a lot of mass-produced stuff where you have different fastener choices. I mean, the scale this thing is probably built on, very limited. Made in Bridgewater, Nova Scotia. So that's another interesting part. Actually, if I can get the tag there. I don't know that this, I didn't check the website. I didn't look much up in terms of what's going on there. Oh, and I think these O-rings are a 016 O-ring in the grooves there. So maybe you'll slip it back together and we'll run a piece of material through, see what happens. I didn't do that part of the test. It was brought to me to replace the O-rings. Okay, so there, that's engaged. And so to put this, where did the hex key, important part. So the other thing with the hex key, because there's not much room to get it in here, I had to try in a few different spots to see where, because it might not go in here, so then you gotta try over here or try over here in order to get it indexed right. So, oh, the other thing, so to change the turret, see it's engaged there, disengaged, and then you can rotate and turn the handle a little bit, get it engaged, and then this nut here goes in this threaded hole in the back. The nut's broken, but still works. So that's another part of the design I found curious, where it would be nice if you didn't have to thread this right out, if it was just able to be loosened and then be able to spin the turret. But that's a minor detail. Actually, that could be done if this had a snap ring on the back side, so then you loosen it a little bit, pull it back, and rotate the turret. Anyhow, minor details. Overall, commendable design. Oh yeah, and even the bottoms of these flat bars here, where it goes on the table, are milled flat. So just nice attention to detail. And, oh yeah, and it also has some grooves in this plate here, right here, and here to see where to index. So lots of thought went into this thing, definitely. So got a couple pieces of material, some cotton. I don't know. Oh, you know what? The other thing that's curious is if this plate wasn't put down before indexing. Okay, so there it's indexed, the plate's in where it's supposed to be. So this is going to cut 2 strips of material, theoretically. And okay, so there we go. So there's our strips. So if you were doing your rug hooking, you would have your little pieces like that. I don't know if there's an easier way to get this to start. Almost you have to get it jammed in between those rollers. Okay. And wasn't thinking about this, but I had a seam there at the end. I didn't want to run that through. So it cuts nice little strips for the most part. I'm sure if we were using the right, a lot of people who do rug hooking, they would use plaid shirts. They're wool plaid shirts. Anyhow, so that's one of the materials of choice. So rug hookers, they're very passionate, going for the old salvaged wool fiber, stuff like that. Anyhow, this is an interesting one. If you've never seen one of these, as I hadn't seen one up close and personal, and I don't know what else to say about this one. Nice little 7-minute video. Anyhow, Mom, hopefully this satisfied your curiosity, and if you want one of these built, I imagine I could probably help you out, and I don't know what else to say. Anyhow, hopefully this was enjoyable.